We're coming to you from Alice Springs today. So since our last video, we left York Peninsula and drove up to Peterborough and then went to Quorn and then the Flinders Ranges. Stayed at Rawnsley Park in the Flinders Ranges, which was very nice and quiet really. Yeah, so now we're in Alice Springs, but we'll just sort of cover Peterborough. That was a train, like a steam train town.
It was a hub.
So, yeah. We saw a lot of steam trains there. So they had a museum out at the information centre. So we went and had a look at that one day and saw lots of different locomotives. And
It's called Steamtown.
It's the largest transfer, is that what they call it? You know how they turn the trains around? Turntable, which is still working apparently. It still works. And that was in the southern hemisphere or in the world, one of the two. Anyway,
yeah, because it used to be the hub for different lines coming from Port Augusta and from over Broken Hill and places like that. So they had different gauge rail lines, and it was a big major hub for diesel, not steam train maintenance. So yeah, there was a lot of work. It was a really big town in its day, but then steam got replaced by diesel, which doesn't need as much work, and the line sort of got bypassed in a way, and yeah, it's just
so we went through some different engines. One of them was the community, like the what do you call it, the nurse for babies. So she had her own little engine that she'd go out and everyone had come to the clinic and
carriage. It was a special carriage.
Yeah, made up.
They'd tow it out, park it off the side of a rail siding, and that would be where everyone would come to get their children checked out, and they had like a little clinic as such inside it. So yeah.
It was all very interesting and a bit quirky as well in the town. We had lunch one day in a old cinema that had been converted to a cafe. And it had all this memorabilia in it and all like movie posters and
old cars and models and stuff like that. Yeah, from there we went to Quorn, which is the gateway to the Flinders, and yeah,
we were really lucky that weekend because they had they do the train trips from Port Augusta to Quorn and back again. So this
the Ritchie Pass.
So they came in with an old diesel.
An old gun engine.
So that came into town and then they unhooked the diesel and took it out and came back with the steam engine because being the changeover in the season, it was now okay to do the steam engine because of the weather, obviously. So we got to see both, which was really pretty exciting actually.
Yeah, we went to a few old ruins. So there was a place called Simonston, which the rail line was going to be extended. That was supposedly going to be where the Garn line was going to go. And they sold off all this land, and they had all this. You had people bought it, and there was like, you need to build, a pub and a shop. It has to be built by a certain time frame. So they madly rushed in and built this big pub and two-story pub and shop and that, and then they decided no, the railway line wasn't to go through there, and so yeah, it just ended up never happening, and the ruins of that there.
So that's called the town that never was.
Yeah. There's quite a few towns up around through the Flinders that are now just completely deserted or just ruins, not much left because the rail line never went through there anymore.
Yeah.
We went out to an old station called Kenyaka, which was huge. Yeah, it was just had an 18-story room homestead and stables.
It was a sheep station, but a lot of travellers went through there, so the owner actually made the property bigger, like the buildings bigger, and fed, I think they said it could feed up to 170 people at one time.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive.
And then on the
One day while we were
Saturday night, we went to the Quorn silo art display or light show, which was it basically goes all night. Like they have the first hour and a bit is like documentaries of different things with stuff projected onto the silo, and then after that they just continually run photos and artwork and stuff of locals up onto the silo. So no matter what time you go through there, you can see something on that silo at night. So
when we drive out to Peterborough. So any Midnight Oil fans?
That was when we were in Peterborough.
That's right. Yeah.
So we went down to there and saw the Midnight Oil house,
which is on the cover of one of their
Diesel and Dust.
Yeah, so from there, I think that's all we...
Yeah, we just poked around there.
Yeah. So then we went up to the Flinders Ranges, and it's quite spectacular, very majestic. So we settled in the first day we were up there. We went up to Wilpena Pound. So they've got... We're really lucky here because they've got 2 lookouts. So the first lookout, you can get an idea of how big Wilpena Pound is, but the second lookout, which is a bit higher, Terry went up, I stayed down a bit at the first lookout, being a big chicken. But it's 15 kilometres long and 7 kilometres wide. It's a natural
amphitheatre. All these mountain ranges basically join up and form this great big amphitheatre, and in the middle of it was the pound, and it was quite spectacular. From there, one day we drove through Ratchina Gorge, Bunaroo Gorge, up to up to Parachulna. It's like the Prairie Hotel, and then came back through another sort of gorge, dirt roads. These are all like through creek crossings and rough roads and that, but no, very spectacular scene. Like you try and take photos and videos, and it just doesn't show out how it really is.
Those first 2 gorges were magnificent. I thought they were really...
And then we went to Blinman, which was an old copper mining town. That was on the other side of the ranges, basically.
Top.
Once again, really spectacular scenery. And from there, we went into the local hotel, and the lady behind the bar told us where to a nice little scenic drive.
Cool.
And we went out to a place called Glass Gorge, and through Glass Gorge we came out onto Parachulna Gorge and came back in through Blenman and back, and that was like spectacular, the scenery there. Just it's unbelievable. And then one day we went to Hawker, which was just a town just only about 30 k's away from where we were staying, but there was a guy there that did all these art gallery, did panoramas, and they were just spectacular.
So you'd go out and take the photos, and then you'd come back and you'd put it all on canvas, and there's one of Wilpena Pound that's a 360-degree view.
If you're on top of what they call, I think it's St Mary's Peak or something, so the highest peak in Wilpena Pound, which is apparently a really hard walk to get to, but he's actually gone up there and then done this panorama, and you climb up some stairs and walk around, and it's as if you're on top of that peak looking out. But they've set it up so that with bits and pieces so that it sort of blends. When you're standing back, there's old logs and trees and stuff and dirt, and then there's his panorama, and he's got a soundtrack of bush noise in the back, like birds and things like that. And that was pretty impressive.
Not only his paintings that he's done are in that gallery, but also lots of memorabilia that he's collected over the years, which was very interesting as well.
Yeah, so that was the Flinders
sheep shearing shed.
Yeah, so we've left, taken a while, and we're just letting Terry recuperate from her dog bite. So we'll bring you our trip up from Rawnsley Park up through the centre, basically through Cooper Pedy up to Uluru and Alice Springs, and
a few of those days are just where we've stopped at a roadhouse overnight. So you know you're in the outback when your overnight stay is out the back of a roadhouse.
So anyway, we've got another week and a bit here, so, and then we'll rejig our trip so that we can head back down to Uluru and Kings Canyon. But yeah, we'll get this together and get it out.
Hey, and thank you everyone for your well wishes. It's anyway. See ya.